So the economy is always something I've kind of nerded out on when it comes to MMOs, and I did a 4-part series on the Ashes of Creation economy, which I'll link above, where I got really deep into like speculation and all of the little details of the economy, trying to kind of put together how the economy might work, which is obviously maybe a little strange to do when the game is so far out, but I enjoy speculating, so that's what that video is. However, this video is pulled directly from the Ashes of Creation Everything Known video, which again I will link above, and I will have the timestamp in the description. And this just really goes over the facts and what we actually know about the economy, and I double checked this time. Unlike with the nodes, everything is still up to date on this, but eventually once they go over the artisan system, and they have said recently they're planning to do the artisan system fairly soon in a live stream, some of this will probably change by then. And like I've said, once we get closer to Alpha 2, I will be updating the entire Everything Known video, which will be a lot of work again, but eventually I'm going to probably do it once a year. The Everything Known is probably going to be the plan, but probably do one update right before Alpha 2, and then probably go to a 1-year cadence after that. With that, guys, let's get into everything we know about the Ashes of Creation economy. With the big topic of nodes out of the way, we can finally move on to something that is very related to nodes, as all features are in Ashes, the economy. The economy of Ashes is incredibly diverse and complex, just like every feature in Ashes. The economy of Ashes is designed to be regional. Prices may vary based on location and supply and demand in that region. The reason for this is there's no central global auction house, there is no fast transportation of materials, and some materials will spawn more frequently in some areas of the world. There will be population-based scaling of NPC sold items based on the economic activity of a server. Prices will rise to combat inflation and fall as population diminishes. Gold will be generated in a unique way in Ashes of Creation. Most mobs will not drop gold, instead they will drop hunting certificates that must be turned in at hunter NPCs in nodes in exchange for gold. A percentage of these certificates will drop on a player's death. The value of these certificates will vary based on several factors: the distance of the node from the drop location. Certificates in different economic regions from the one they were dropped in will have more value, and the world manager algorithm will also adjust the prices based on the amount of certificates that are turned in at each node. Economic regions are static areas defined by geographic points of interest. Player trading is done via several methods: simple player-to-player trading, or through player stalls, player shops, or auction houses. Player stalls can be rented at locations near the unique building in an economic node, or in marketplaces built within a node. An attendant NPC is assigned to the stall. The player does not need to be present to sell goods within a player stall. The storage for a player stall is linked to the player's warehouse in that node. The listings are posted on bulletin boards in the region and possibly even in the auction house. Player stalls are one of the very few PvP safe zones in the game as well. Personal shops are acquired by players by purchasing a placement certificate. They can then build them on their freeholds or near the unique building in node, or if the node is an economic node in a metropolis, they can be placed anywhere in the world. Players must be present and on the line at these shops to sell goods, and the listings are tied to the player's inventory. PvP is allowed in player stalls, with applied corruption penalties enabled. Corruption will be discussed in depth in the PvP section. Auction houses are only available in economic nodes. Vassal nodes of the auction house node can view items that are on sale, but unless the parent economic node is a metropolis, the vassal node citizens will still have to travel to the auction house to bid. Materials and gatherables won on the auction house will still need to be transported by the player wherever they need them. Finished items will be mailed to the player. Historical auction house data might be available via constructed node buildings. Bulletin boards within player-run taverns or in nodes will display auction listings as well. There will be very little bound gear in Ashes. Most gear will still be tradable even after equipping it. Gear will be acquired primarily via crafting, with small chances of finished items dropping from raid and dungeon bosses. But the primary way to acquire the best gear in the game is from crafting. With crafting mattering, that makes the gathering and processing matter a lot as well, and should make the economy of Ashes very robust. I will get into gathering, processing, and crafting in depth later in the video. Storage exists as warehouses in nodes, and chests created in player housing. Taverns are a building type within nodes on player freeholds and are classified as a player-run business. There are a lot of benefits with taverns, such as quests, buff food, and specific recipes. Stock exchanges are also a planned feature of the economy of Ashes of Creation. These are places where players can buy and sell shares in nodes, guilds, or social organizations. The value of these shares will vary based on the progression of these various organizations. Sieges will halt the trading of shares until the siege ends. And guys, I do appreciate you watching all the way to the end. I don't really have anything else to add, so with that, I'll see you guys in the next video.